What is happening, everyone? Welcome to the show. I'm Timmy Foodie. We are cooking today a nice little sautéed potato omelette. Let's turn this little beeping bastard on. So these are my little roast potatoes that I cooked the other day. You can watch the how I made them video. I'll put a link up at the end of this video. So these I've just cut these like lengthways, sliced them up so they're about, I don't know, 5mm thick or something like that. What we're going to do, we're just going to get the pan on and get that heating up, bit of olive oil, and we're going to just fry them off. When you're doing sautéed potatoes, you don't really want to just get a thingy. You don't really want to get them overly too much colour on them. You just want them to like crispen up a bit and kind of do their thing. So I just want to show you what I mean by that. What else you're going to need for this? Salt, pepper. I've got 3 eggs, nice organic free-range eggs, and I've got some Lurpak butter. It's about what you're going to need. You could put some other stuff in this omelette if you want, like cheese, which I think I have, so we may as well put it in. Perfect. I've got some Gouda there, so that's going to go quite nicely. That's getting a bit hot, so I'm just going to do a little drizzle of olive oil, and let's just get this in the pan, just face down. Now, the main key for this is you don't really want to move these things around too much. That you want to let them take on a tiny bit of colour and then you can turn them. Because these have already got some sort of colour on this side, I'm really just heating these through really and just getting a bit of crispiness on that bottom face. And just sort of space them in just like this. Spread them around. Nice little sizzle. I'm going to just do a little bit more oil and just sort of swizzle that around a little bit just so that there's a bit, you know, it's nicely coated on all sides. That's good. Perfect. And that's just going to just cook off for a bit really. So I think about 3 or 4 minutes on this side, then give them a turn and a few more minutes on the other side, and that's going to be basically be it. So while that's doing that, we'll just whisk up the eggs. So I think 3 eggs is about right in terms of A, how many eggs you should be eating at one time. I think 3 eggs is good, and B, if you go too many eggs, it makes it a little bit more difficult to make the omelette. So I think 3 eggs is about right. So we'll see how it goes. Now with omelettes, it's a bit hit and miss with me. Sometimes I completely fuck them up. So we'll see what happens. This could completely go horribly wrong, but I'll probably leave it in just to show you what to do if it does go horribly wrong. Well, I'm not actually sure what's going to happen, so we'll see if we can figure out how to solve the problem if it does all fuck up. That's probably hot enough, so I'm going to turn that down a touch. That was on quite high, so I just want to knock that down a couple of places. Make sure your eggs are whisked nice and smoothly. Make sure there's no like, you know, lighter bits in there or anything, or like they'll be slightly more transparent. You just want it mixed up nice and nicely. It's good English, isn't it? A little just pinch of salt. That's good. And I'm going to put pepper in towards the end, so we don't have to worry too much. I'm just going to give this a toss. Yes, looking good. That's taking on a nice bit of colour now, so that's good. So yeah, you don't want to cook them too hot really. I mean, these, because they're roast potatoes, they've already got this sort of colour on them. So I mean, I really don't have to cook these for too long. I just want to warm them through and let these lighter faces just take on a bit of crispiness really. So we'll just keep doing that now. Let's give that another 2 or 3 minutes and then we'll come back. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. They're looking pretty nice. A little bit crispy, got a bit of colour. They've all warmed through properly and stuff, so a little bit of crispiness on the edges. Now, if you're doing this with like boiled potatoes and then you slice it and then fry them off, you'll get a bit more of an even colour on them, but because these are pre-roasted, they're like, it's a little bit different, but it's fine. That's good for me, so I'm going to just ditch that into a bowl just for the meantime, so I can just chill out. Dropped a little bugger. So that's good. Just toss that around a touch. Yeah, very nice. So I actually just want to... I don't want bits of potato and stuff in here. So I'm just going to, with some paper towel, just kind of brush out all those little bits and bobs from there, because I'm going to just put a bit of butter in this. So, and I just think all these little bits are going to just get in the way of the awesome egginess. So apologies for the beeping. It really doesn't like... It must be German or something. This, it just can't handle anything happening. Knob of butter in the pan. I'm on about a 4, so a nice kind of medium heat. I've got one of these little silicone things because it works quite well with for these kind of omelette things. So if you're using a non-stick pan, then something like this or one of these wooden ones is good. Very nice. Just going to get that melting through. So you can see the speed this butter's melting. It's not like sizzling and going crazy. I really don't think you need to have a huge amount of heat for these things. It just a nice steady medium heat is really good. That's looking pretty good. Give that a nice little whisk up. So remember, this has just had a little bit of salt in this and that's it. There's nothing else. You don't need pepper just yet. We're going to put that in towards the end. And then we're just going to do this. We're just basically lightly scrambling these eggs, essentially. And then generally with eggs, the slower you go, the better, you know, the better the flavour you get out of it and stuff. So it's, you know, there's no need to really rush with this thing, because once it starts to scramble, we'll let it set and I'll be pushing it in and kind of forming that shape of the omelette. But for the moment, we're getting some nice scrambles going on because we want, it gives the omelette some height to it and stuff, and just kind of, so I'm just pushing into the edges and then just kind of, you know, doing like that, just kind of mimic what I'm doing. Now, a good non-stick pan is quite important here. So if you've got a really good cast iron pan that's seasoned really nicely, you can do it in one of those as well. But one of these non-stick pans from Scan Pan is particularly good. And I actually think even like a wooden thing like that in these things can sometimes scratch it, but these silicone things are great. So as that's starting to scramble up a touch, probably just not whack it up just one. Oh, I see what happened. I paused it. That's why it was going very slowly. I'm back up to a 4 now. This fucking thing, why would you want to pause it? Like what does that do? Honestly, it's fucking, must be German. It's a very sensible thing. Well, it's Swedish actually, isn't it? Because it's from IKEA, but okay, I'm going to knock that down to a 2 now, because it's actually starting to do what I want it to do. So you see these little scrambles that are happening, yeah? So I'm just getting that nicely, evenly. Try not to mouth breathe too much. Looking good, see, look at that, it's fucking awesome. This is a really good way to make scrambled eggs as well, actually, but it's and now you can start to sort of, I want it to be about that big. It really doesn't like it when you lift this thing up, but okay, that's starting to do what I want it to do. I just want to lay a few of these. I'm going to do a bit of pepper. Just lay a few of these bits of potato. Just in the middle. I want a line in the middle really. I don't want to go too... Don't overfill it because you don't need to. I probably will now I've said that. And I'm going to put in a little slice of cheese because why the devil not? This is a nice Gouda, so you can grate it if you want, but I'm just going to tear this up and put it kind of in like that. It's pretty good. And then you can see, I'm just going to try and do this and not completely fuck the thing up, which I probably am going to now I've said that. Oh, this little bugger's coming this side now. So I'll probably put too much in there, but we're going to just rest it over like this and just try and tease the little bugger over, just like that, you see, and then keep rolling it. It's coming out a bit, but what are you going to do? I actually want to then try and roll that one more time onto this side here. So I'm going to move it over. You can kind of move it around a bit and start touching it and stuff if you want, because it's not going to, I want to seal that little bugger in. It's not going to ruin it. Perfect. Yeah, it's looking good. So, it's trying to ooze out the sides, but that's all right. So this side it would have turned over a bit better, but it's all right. See, that's looking pretty good, and I'm just going to let some of the residual heat from the pan. I just touched the pan then, that was hot. I'm just going to let some of that just cook through a tiny bit and do its thing, and just let that warm through. It's not going to overcook because I'm cooking it so slow that it's going to be fine. A bit of cheese there. So I'm just going to now turn that out onto the pan, onto the plate. And that's great, that's nice and oozy. And then you could, if you wanted to, just get some of these sautéed potatoes and make a nice little, you know, crunchy end bit for it. And then you could serve this with a nice little salad, just a mixed greens, or even just a nice cos lettuce salad or something, and just dress it and serve that on the side. Pretty awesome. So if you want to just see inside it, let's get a actual sharp knife, shall we? There, that's perfect. So I don't know if you can see, there's like a nice kind of gooey inside. It's all squishy and gooey with the potato, and yeah, awesome. So that's basically how you do it. And you can see in the pan bit, I mean, I didn't quite perfect that time. I probably put in too much potato or something, but still, it's going to taste fucking good though. I might actually try some. I don't like eating on camera, but because you probably don't want to hear that, but yeah, nice and gooey in the middle. You can kind of see that it's all just kind of gooey and eggy, and yeah, that's pretty good. So super tasty, super quick. I mean, that took like 10 minutes. I better turn that off now. I'm cooking my fucking spatula. There you go. Sautéed potato omelette, simple. Bit of side salad, some avocado, you know, get a tomato, dice it up, toss it in a, I don't know, nice little vinaigrette with some balsamic, bit of olive oil, have that on the side. Super healthy. Sautéed potatoes are brilliant, super delicious. And yeah, there we go. Cheers guys, there's my awesome little sautéed potato omelette. Super tasty. Super healthy and pretty cheap actually as well if you're on a budget. Just make some potato and a bit of, you know, sliced cheese, whatever cheese you can get. So, yeah. Cheers, guys. I'm going to eat this. We'll be back soon. Thanks a lot.